But we begin here at 4 o'clock with a look at the major damage flooding has done here in central Indiana.
So we saw some of that flooding earlier this month. Our Rich and I went to Bartholomew County today, where researchers are looking at the impact on Hoosier farmland.
These IU students are collecting sensors from this farmland put in place just before the flooding. The sensors measure water depth from pressure and the speed of moving water. The research area is in Jonesville in southern Bartholomew County in the floodplain of the East Fork of the White River. This is the view from above now. This is what it looked like here at the crest of flooding.
The big flood gave us an opportunity to really understand how these big events reshape landscapes. Because an interesting thing that we want to understand is whether or not the soil is being eroded gradually over time, or if it's these big floods and these big whopping events that do all the erosion, and then the landscape sits around and waits for the next big one.
IU earth scientist Doug Edmonds says about 20% of this area has lost about a foot of topsoil from erosion in the last decade. The deepest red on this map of the area indicates significant erosion. This drone uses LiDAR, light detection and ranging, to measure the topography of the landscape and how much it was changed by the flood.
A very valuable piece of equipment that sends out 100,000 pulses of light per second. Each of those pulses of light gives us an exact measurement to the ground and any point that it hits. And with that data, we can make a lot of measurements.
You can still see the flood channels that flowed through the field and left behind sand.
It's pretty rare to see sand brought up from the river and transported all the way into the floodplain. The flooding is pretty frequent, but it doesn't often always bring sand with it.
This is one of the sensors. It's anchored in the ground and it floats. So in still water, it's going to stand straight up. But as the floodwaters move, so does the sensor, measuring the velocity of the water.
Water that is changing the Hoosier landscape. In Jonesville, Rich Knight, 13 News.